Caldwell Parish School Board meeting will come to order. Those of you reading the prayer, and Linda the prayer.
Our Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. Lord, we thank you for being able to gather together in moments like this and Lord, discuss what's going on in our parish. And Lord, we thank you for our leaders in our parish and people that make decisions. And Lord, we thank you for these young people that are here tonight, Lord, and the families that they represent and the things that they have accomplished, and us to be able to celebrate those accomplishments. Lord, we thank you for Jesus, and we thank you for him dying on the cross for our sins. And Lord, we just ask you to watch over us and take care of us and help us all to make good decisions. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call. Randy Rance.
Here.
Bo Barton.
Here.
Melinda Ballard. Here. Baron Glass.
Here.
Maria Bass. Here. Gary Castles.
Here.
Johnny Fallon. Here.
All right. Item A is the executive committee report.
Went through all the checks, the registers look good. Sales tax is up a little bit this month. I believe it was 0.96% over this time last year. For the year, we're still up 3.44% over the last year. So we're still in pretty good shape as far as sales tax.
Thank you, Randy. All right. Item B is approved February 13th, 2023 board minutes.
I make a motion to approve minutes.
A second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, item C is to recognize Jenny Meadows as Taylor & Sons Employee of the Month. Ms. Freeman.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. Again, it's a pleasure to stand before you and get to brag on somebody. And when we started talking, we almost were I guess. One of my former roles and responsibilities was oversight of career and technical ed programs, specifically ag teachers. So let me tell you a little bit about Ms. Meadows. Ms. Meadows is awesome with our students, and she goes above and beyond for everyone and anyone at Caldwell Parish High School. She is encouraging and always trying to find a way to boost morale. She is a great asset to our team. She does so much with and for FFA that benefits not only the students, but they also treat the teachers and staff as well. And she was just talking about that when we were making a picture a moment ago. She volunteers in the cafeteria almost daily. I see her in the concession stand at nearly every basketball game, and I sometimes wonder if she sleeps up there. We're very thankful for her contributions. She always promotes positivity in her classes and in our school. She teaches with her heart and ensures that her students achieve to their highest potential. I love to visit her classroom and see the wonderful things her students are learning in ag class and making in carpentry class. She helps in the cafeteria during the planning period, works in the concession stand, as we said, and as the FFA sponsor, she's created a way for Caldwell Parish High School to celebrate FFA Week and to raise awareness of this program. This is my first year at Caldwell Parish High School, and Ms. Meadows has gone out of her way to make me feel welcome and at home. So your March 2023 Caldwell Parish School Board Employee of the Month, Jenny Meadows, for your dedication and commitment to your community, your schools, and your children. Proudly sponsored by Taylor & Sons Insurance and Financial Services. I give you your March 2023 Employee of the Month, Ms. Jenny Meadows.
Thank you very much. Oh, I didn't know how to be.
I didn't mention the 30-minute speech.
No. Especially not since like a concession stand work. She let me leave for 10 minutes.
Oh, that's right.
Championship night tonight. Appreciate it. It's been great. This is my 33rd year teaching ag. When I graduated from Keck in 1990, it was not a atmosphere for women ag teachers. In fact, there were none in the state of Louisiana. So I went to Florida and taught for 16 years, then moved over to Alabama for another 10. Finally, Ms. Jones and them wanted to start a carpentry program, and Coach Abby knew that I was certified and all that. And so she said, come home, it's time for you to come home. So I've been gone for 26 years, and I was very glad to come home.
We're glad you came home.
And I'm home.
Thank you. All right, item D is recognitions. The first one is Lane Davis, JAG Art Contest, first place winner.
Ms. Houston, will you tell us a little bit?
So, select number of kids got to go and represent our JAG program at the state conference in Lafayette this past month. And Lane came up with this design on his own.
Ms.
and-
Hillstead, so they can see you, won't you stand up over there?
So we went to the JAG conference in Lafayette, and we had several compete, and they all did really well, and Lane came back with first place. So we're so excited. This was our first event to ever win at a state JAG conference. Yeah, so tell them about your painting.
The overall theme is like stuff in New Orleans and Louisiana. I tried to incorporate everything that represented Louisiana, including sports like the Superdome, football, basketball, and volleyball and softball. The fleur-de-lis is the centerpiece, and then all of the music notes around, and the saxophones, and then things that represent New Orleans. Miss Bird is also the art teacher.
Yes, please don't put.
All right, guys. 1, 2, and 3. Okay.
You can
Got a second part to that, it's Caldwell Parish Junior High art students.
Well, Lane Davis, we knew he was going to be here tonight, and so he brought some of his artwork from his portfolio so he could like show you guys what he's been doing. He's my third, aren't you third year? Second, okay. I had him 7th grade and he's 8th grade. Okay, and here's you 6. Okay. So you want to pull out something? What is some of your favorites? Tell him what it is.
The centerpiece is like a tree, and then I try to incorporate like warm colors and cool colors and stuff around, and I try to do storm clouds, but it didn't work that way.
This is a neurographic, and it's something that, like, some type of neurographic, I try to teach them every year. We have so many kids that, have bad home life or just have problems and need to vent. And this is just a way that they can lose themselves in art. It's through neurographics, and it's really a therapy that they teach kids a lot of times to do this, because you have to round off all the corners and everything. So once you draw everything, you have to go in and round off all the corners. And it takes total concentration. It gets their minds off of things that they don't want them on. And I have kids that come back that are at the high school now, have come back and tell me, Ms. Bird, that has saved me. They're worried about a test or something, and they'll just start doing their graphics. So it's a really, really good thing to teach. Not only that, they're able to learn how to use form. This is one of the first things they do for form and shape.
This is a close-up on bones. Oh yeah, Georgia O'Keeffe.
Tell them what you use.
Markers.
But guess what? They just put the marker on the paper, but they used it as watercolor. So you're able to take a marker, and I had teachers coming to me, can I come in and do this? So, yeah.
Sorry.
That is. You don't want to show what that one's with.
Can I ask Lane a question?
Yes.
So, Lane, I see you have a Caldwell baseball hoodie on. You're a baseball player as well?
Nah, I got this from my older brother.
Your older brother?
Haley, is it a way that you guys can display that in the front for the rest of the month, and before you go and sit down, go over to that camera and tell them that you would like for them to come and see your art, because we need to make sure that people understand that we have positive things going on. There's no sense in having technology we don't utilize it. This is a prime opportunity to utilize it. So you get a pat on the back, your parents get a pat on the back, and we wish you the best of luck.
That's awesome, Lane.
But we, actually,
Can't be here.
you will be getting an invitation.
Okay.
On April the 1st, their artwork is going to be displayed at the Shippers. Is it? Yeah, and it's going to go for the whole month.
Okay.
But from 1 to 3, we're going to have a reception. They're going to walk the street off, and the kids are going to get out and show kids how to do the chalk paint and do illusions. Chalk, not chalk paint, but chalk.
I'm assuming you're
chalk.
asking us to be there.
So I'm asking you, you're going to get an invitation too.
Yes. So we just
So-
kind of wanted to give y'all a preview of all the work that they've done and some exemplary work. So
Solomon.
yeah, y'all come on up.
So this is Solomon, and he is a third-year student. And when he came to me in his 6th grade year, Solomon, tell them what you drew in your 6th grade year on everything. Every single art project was what?
A heart.
No, remember? He drew candy corn. If it was a snowman, it was candy corn. No matter what it was candy corn. And so now, Solomon did his own portfolio, and he has super duper, show me.
Wow.
He is very talented.
Yeah. It was like a video game.
It
I want to take a picture.
I got one. Mama said take it anyway.
It's the heart.
What grade is he in?
He's in
8.
8.
So I could be in high school.
So Miss, the high school principal, let me ask you a question. What do we have in place that keeps him active and allow him to create, his own dreams and goals and aspirations relative to arts? Because in my understanding, arts is kind of like lost.
Ms. Hutchinson has art at the high
I
school.
can't hear you.
Ms. Tamara Hutchinson teaches art at the high school.
Okay.
So they were able to experiment with paint and chemicals, and he did a, hold it up.
There.
This
Behind you,
is,
some of
when
her
you
work
come,
is
it's gonna be really,
for
really
class
exciting,
work.
because it's gonna be under black light, and it looks totally different. So
there's a
this is a
hallway
black
out
light
there.
paint floor.
We've seen that in your room.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
Yeah,
this is the high school.
And that,
The
that's
next
all
one
high
is
school,
Katie
and there, not in the
Chester.
hallway too, it's some more artwork.
Chittister, okay. She tells me and I forget it every time. Chittister. Miss Katie is one of my talented art students, and she's got a couple of her pieces that she's going to show you. This was done at they did a research project where they had to research an artist. No one got the same artist, and then they had to go in and make things that represented that artist, as well as things that would go into one of these boxes.
Want to tell us about it?
This is really great. That's how you pronounce his last name. I don't know. But there's I don't know where he died from, but it had something to do with like religion. It was some type of cancer. He was kind of what was called.
His artwork was very similar to one of hers that she did. This was an experiment. We wanted texture on the canvas, so we got gauze, and it also gives it that creepy feel. And she chose this. It was supposed to be a spirit animal, and for some reason we kept going back to the crow. And that was her spirit animal. So we put it on top of a skull. What else? What else should we show? Okay. You can see she's a little different. She's my spirit child. She's the only one I have in class that will paint with their fingers like I do.
But look, it's okay to be different.
Yeah.
It's okay to be different. You're peculiar, and the Bible speaks of that.
Okay, now show them your.
Oh, wow.
She did that?
That's amazing.
And one other one, she's working on a piece right now. Her and Lane and my seventh grade, or my eighth graders are working on a canvas piece, and they're just starting. So we brought it just to show you, and like the background's gonna be different, but this is just the beginnings of it. This is gonna be Mount Fuji, and in a minute Sawyer will be up here, and they are doing. The seventh graders did they did just cherry blossom trees, actually just a limb. But this is going to have a cherry blossom limb that's going to be in the foreground that comes up over this. So they're just starting it. So I wanted you guys to see what they were doing. I know. Great job.
Great, go ahead.
What you got? This is Grant. Introduce yourself.
Grant.
Last name?
Caldwell.
Okay. Show them what your piece is that you want to show.
This was a optical illusion. Full color for the in and outside. This was a cherry blossom tree. I used white, red, and 2 different kinds of pink with the cherry blossoms.
They glue or used like eyedropper for the, instead of painting it for the things. So some of them got a little crazy with it. Okay. Is that it? You want to show this? He's got his work too. He and Solomon were in the same class. Tell him how you did the background.
My background, we use like, what is it called? Yeah, we use shaving cream and color, watercolor, and we just put the background and pushed it on it, and then I drew the heart and got a ruler and did the lines.
And Sawyer Watts. The last one. This one, he's my second year. He's a seventh grader. He'll show him your thing. He wanted to do Bob Ross.
We all know Bob Ross.
He was in the Air Force, so that's why the Air Force stickers there. Okay. This is his. They did a little bit smaller one. I didn't want them to be feel overwhelmed. I knew Katie could handle the big canvas and Lane, but some of the seventh graders are just now starting with canvas, and I didn't want him to feel overwhelmed. So tell them what it is. And this next one is one that Courtney called me. She says, I sent her a picture of it, and she sent me something back, and she said, oh, Lord, compared to last year. This, I think it got something on it with you just a minute ago, but this is his pumpkin. What did his pumpkin look like?
I mean, it was lopsided last year.
So it's much better. And he also did, the seventh graders did a little bit different with their cherry blossoms. They did a background with well, I was going to do tea and I forgot the tea, so I went and got 3 of the coffee things out of the out of the lounge. So I owed them coffee, and they used coffee to paint the background, and they thought that was the neatest thing ever to be able to do that. And then this one was actually, it's just for them to learn textures, and they were going to try to find different textures, and so Kayla Morris was supposed to be here, and we brought hers too, but she didn't make it, so. And then here's his compared to Katie's.
Different personalities.
Different personalities, everybody's got different personalities. But I get excited for Katie's because I never know what to expect.
Y'all, this is amazing. Y'all are so talented.
We're really excited about our art show this year, and it's going to be from 1 to 3 on April the 1st. We're going to have, like, there's going to be face painting. The kids are going to come and do face painting, and we're going to have auctions. They're going to be silent auctions, and the kids are all doing, each class is doing a piece, and they're going to be really good. Like, I'm really excited about it. Today, I have one class that's my most challenging class, and it's 6th graders. And he's not in it, but his history is. And it's just a challenge. And I have found, after almost a year with them, they love just to do something as a whole group. Like today they put all the tables together, and we had a long table, like we were fixing to eat some kind of big meal together, and they were making these little sticks that they're gonna put together and make it's an art piece, it's really cool. And so, I'm just like, this is the second day, and I haven't had hardly a word spoken in that class. I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Yeah, that may be what we're doing the rest of the year, is having a group projects. So anyway,
We're very proud of you all.
yes,
You're hard
I'm
work.
really proud of them. They are all awesome. I'm just really lucky to be able to teach here and to teach these kids. They're just awesome.
Mr. Council,
Yes.
to the left of me, my seatmate has requested that they walk around and shake our hand.
All right.
Come check
Come
our
around this way, right here. Right hands. I'll start with me. Good job.
Good job.
Hey, if it's okay, could y'all stand behind him and we'll just take a picture right here, that way we can post it. Miss Burke, take a picture with them. I'm able to get in the middle.
You know what?
I know I mean, but no. Here we go.
He does that to me all the time, but I need him to look back.
You might stand back here and get
Yeah.
Come on, Randy.
All right, Miss Bergman. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Y'all.
Thank y'all for
And I will say that what I love about art class is that you may not have, if kids have always just either had to be athletes or musically inclined, and these kids are able to express themselves in
See, that
different
was
ways,
my
and I love
question,
it.
yeah.
Yes.
What gives them the opportunity to perform and excel the same way they are
And we
on basketball?
also have a yearbook committee that, they have a class that they work and they build our yearbook, and it's amazing.
The art class?
We have an art class that's just for yearbook.
And we have an art club also.
Yes, and we have art club. And then whenever they move on to high school, they can get into those accelerated type pieces that you're seeing.
And I do want to add, my kid, Katie, she's talented. She's talented and gifted, right? And so she's been in the tag program since 3rd grade. We just moved here from Parish, but since she has moved here and been in Spurs, I've seen exponential growth in her skill set. Her portfolio has diversified. She's reached out. So like being in this class, she has grown so much from being in it. Yes. She's very passionate about it.
And for those of you who don't know, Miss Fontenot is sixth grade math teacher and 7th teacher my voice at the junior high now. Moved here this year.
So I'm trying to figure out, we got all these employees and I see them and I don't know one from the other.
Well, now you know.
I know.
Yeah.
She's came to the Fontenot's restaurant.
Okay.
Yes.
That's her in-laws.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
you.
does the STEM
Yes.
club.
I'm the robotics club sponsor and I'm starting a coding club this year for
Yes,
this
she
year.
got a grant to fund a cooking club, so we have that as well. She's awesome. She's amazing. She's amazing.
Thank you.
We're glad that all of y'all transported to the
Yes,
We are too. We love it. Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Jim, you up. Item E, resolution to enter into memorandum of understanding with Caldwell Parish 4-H.
Yeah, I appreciate the board letting me speak. Just to reiterate kind of what we went over last time, the memorandum of understanding, it's a 5-year MOU with the LSU Ag Center. And just the numbers, I was given 17,867 for the last 10 years, I think, two MOUs. And the current number, we went up a little bit, is around $26.96. That's $2,696. This is a salary support, and it's a 10% salary support. So everybody gets a little bit every now and then. So the number went up $2,696 is the number it goes to, which is around $20,563. I appreciate the board's view of that.
Jim, I support that contingent upon what you and I have talked about to make sure that we don't have to go into it now, but if you can kind of provide that to the superintendent at some point, because I think it's necessary, I think it's needed, I think it will be advantageous for, the 4-H club, here, not just here, but the parish as a whole. So if we can get that in place, you got me 100%.
All right.
I make a motion that we adopt a resolution supporting Caldwell Parish 4-H along with, $2,600 increase. I think it should be more. And if you can get more, try to get it because I think it's beneficial. We're giving money away all the time. I think it's good for those kids. We need to invest in those kids, like she just stated, that if they're not playing football, basketball, baseball, maybe they can get involved in 4-H and they can excel there, because we want every kid to be able to shine bright, whatever their talent is. And I think oftentimes some kids excluded not by intention, but because we don't have enough elements that's there to actually can help them. But I think 4-H would be really advantageous for the little kid that's over in the corner that deals with his grandfather, that's dealing with calves, hogs, and stuff like that. They may grow up to be a farmer. So if we can, allow them that opportunity, I think it would be grandiose to do that. Now, Jim, I know you've been doing a good job.
Or being a doctor.
Yeah, you.
Lauren was in the state leadership thing with the 4-H, all 4 years there, like you said, and it made a difference,
Right, and you're getting ready.
And
Yeah.
she's a doctor now, OBGYN.
Well, that's good.
Because of Jim.
And you're getting ready
All
to
because
retire.
of
Part of
I think you've done a great job.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think you've been very complimentary when it comes to, issues of concern.
Right,
You've
and I'll
always
still be
addressed-
involved with the program, and also one thing, I'm on the Art and Folk Festival board too, and that would be really something good. We have around 2,000 people come that weekend to the art festival, 1,500, and that would be really something good to display for all those people to see that the junior high can do that kind of artwork right here local. That's some really good stuff.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye. Thank you. And I'll get the paperwork.
All right. All right, item F is resolution to open a money market account at Citizens Progressive Bank.
Okay. Every year we have extra property tax money for about 6 months, and it just sits in a checking account, earning no money. And if we slide it over into a money market that's linked with that checking account, it'll earn right now 3 to 4%. So that's current rate, it goes up and down. And they've never been that generous with the interest rate. I mean, the interest rates at all banks have been pretty low. And now they're finally trajectory, if that's the word. So anyway, and by June 30th, we'll close it out, or it'll go zero, and then it'll be zero until around January. So we'll start
with. So we need a motion for that.
The Citizen Bank,
Oh, yes, sir.
Maria, you probably want to sign.
Yeah. I have to too.
I'll make the motion, I'm at Caldwell.
You right on the fence. You on the fence. They direct, they're on the other side of the fence.
Well, they're a sister bank, okay?
Okay, well,
I always say they don't have anything to do with it.
They're our sister, they're our sister.
All right, we got a motion on Melinda, did you second? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All right. Approve 2023-2024 school calendar. I think it's in your folder.
Kayla, you wanna tell them?
I will tell about it. So, each year, most of the directors will meet and, plug in the numbers to get the, mandated amount of days for our students. Of course, we build in 3 weather days, and we let the staff vote on their favorite, calendar for the next school year. And we gave them about 3 weeks, I think. So the difference in the calendar is the same amount of days, but the differences were your spring breaks were at 2 different times. One was at the end of March, included with your Good Friday. The other choice was the next week, so it was the first week of April. It leaves you a little bit less time in the classroom when we come back and start the state testing. So the one in front of you was the most popular. I think it got 92 votes. I think we had a total of 177 votes. It was very close, but it was the clear winner over the district. So,
I make a motion that we accept the 2023-2024 calendar.
I second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, say aye.
You should have voted more.
All right. Item 8 is the financial update.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as last month. General fund's not going into well, I'm afraid, at the end of the year. Sales tax is up a little bit. Lunch fund is plugging along, and maintenance fund is probably the star, I guess, for the month. So, and there's a big write-up. Or is that at your leisure? But anyway, it's pretty much the same report as last month.
All right. Any questions? All right, thank you, David.
Yes, sir.
Item 8 is district leaders update.
3. Who you wanna start?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Very brief. Summer camp planning is in full swing. We're getting applications. Student applications are rolling in very steady. And teacher applications. So we'll be looking at placing teachers, when we come back from spring break. Get our people in place and make a schedule and plans and getting that rolling. We've had 8 visits this week in person, and those went very well, classroom visits, and we're trying our very best to focus on our instruction and push out, meet our end of the year goals for this year, and we're also already planning for next year, what our instructional goals are for next year. So everybody needs a break. So this break comes at a perfect time. So we're looking for, as soon as we get back from break, hitting the ground running with some fresh goals and ideas.
Last week, we started the ACT testing at the high school, and it went off without a hitch, no problems. We expect the same thing to happen with all the schools when we come back from the break and start our generalized testing. So everything should be good.
Ms. Meredith?
Just a couple of things. I'm sure David has been monitoring these numbers daily, but I finally have our October 1 count because of the new computer system that the state rolled over in August. But we're the highest we've been since 2016, so that helps a little bit on. It's not going to nearly fix the problem, but it's a lot better. We're up about 30 more kids receiving services than we were in 2020, and that's been a huge feat because we have less staff than we had then. So the people that we have in here have really just worked really hard. Those of you might not know that Coach Reevy has joined my team as our new school social worker, and we're so excited to have her. She has jumped right in and, I mean, just run with it, already doing everything she could possibly do, so we're thrilled to have her. Special Olympics, another invite you guys are gonna get. It's gonna be April 14th, and this year it's gonna be at the Dixie Youth ballpark across the river. I don't know if you're gonna, do you wanna explain why, or?
Well, the work that we're doing on the football field, Saturday starts the killing of the grass, and then once the grass is gone, then the other starts, so we will not be able to have Special Olympics at the football field.
So they've been gracious enough to say that we could use the Dixie Field. So we'll be there April 14th. Opening ceremony is going to be at 10 o'clock. And Coach Dallio and Coach Reevy are heading it up together this year. One thing I do want to make you guys aware of, and I'm going to do a little explanation to start with, and you guys, everybody in the room might be like, yeah, I know this, but I just want to try to help you understand. So when a child goes through the evaluation process, what we do is we sit down, we write an individual education program, and the IDEA has given the members of that committee, which include the parent, the school leader, the teacher, there's a list of people that have to be the authority to write programming for the student. That includes what accommodations the student can get. Well, this year, the State Department has picked out a handful of accommodations, most importantly, human reader. And human reader is if you have a reading disability, another adult or another trained person can read the material out loud to you. The State Department this year has basically taken all of our IEPs, and they have one person in their office who is unilaterally making the decision, and they have said that none of our kids can have human reader anymore.
Well, how can they do that?
Exactly.
You had the same reaction we had. Our legal team that represents the school district, but also the state special education directors, has had a lot of correspondence with them. I think it's going to be a long time before this washes out, but what I want you guys to be prepared for is we have about 30 kids in the school system, and it's a very, we don't have a lot of kids who receive this accommodation. I mean, you have to have a documented reading disability, and honestly, we only try to use human reader for kids that have other disabilities on top of that, because having a human reader is very limiting to a kid. You're not going to carry around another human being your whole life, so we do try to get kids to be able to use like things like headphones and that sort of thing, but the state this week actually rejected all of the applications that we got, and I can't, as much as we've been preparing for it, we've heard rumblings about this, and we've tried to teach the kids to get a little bit more used to the computer audio. But you guys know, like, I like audiobooks, but most people cannot stand the sound of a computer generated voice, going to them. And unfortunately, I do think it's going to have an impact on our test scores, because we're taking away an accommodation that most of these kids have had for several years. And I want you guys to know too, how far the state's reaching. Like, one of the, they give you really specific things about why this was rejected. Like, one of the kids, it said his evaluation's great, his IEP's right, but 2 years ago when this kid was in elementary school, he made a 78C in reading. Therefore, this kid can obviously read, so he can't have human reader.
So what happens if you keep reading to him?
We'll get a 0 on the test.
For every test.
And some districts have taken that stance.
Do we have to go along with this?
So
all we can do, because we don't want to just take a 0, is play by their rules and then fight it legally. And so what they're saying now is you can put the headphones on, and so they're training. They knew this was probably going to come. We were just hoping legal would beat it. They're training the kids to learn how to use the headphones and try to do it. So you go ahead and you let them try to do it, and then you fight the legal on the other side. But if we don't win legally, then they got a 0 for not even doing it.
All right, if they're gonna get a zero anyway, why should we go along with the state? Why don't we go ahead and provide them leaders and let them take the test?
That's
If
what
they're gonna get a
They may get
zero.
lucky.
Huh?
I agree with
They
you.
may get lucky and win something.
I want to give a kid a chance, you know, to use it rather than taking a zero. Go ahead and try. That way, if we don't win it, we at least, it's,
Who comes up with this? I mean, whose authority is this? Who comes up with
This is
It's in the
somebody.
State Department, right?
But it's somebody from assessment, and the SPED department from Hammonds and Sills, you know, wrote them a pretty lengthy position paper a couple months ago, and I really thought, okay, this is gonna make it all work out, but, it just happened this week, and I'll tell y'all, Christy is not here, but Christy is the one who's really, taken the brunt of all of this, because State Department keeps calling her and yelling at her, even though it's not her IEPs, it's, you know, this department's IEPs, but, you know, they keep telling her, you know, just basically,
quit sending them in. Quit
So
asking.
Rebecca, you're not able to talk to somebody that's in this position to make these decisions, because what I'm thinking, Nikki, is it may not help, but do a unanimous resolution, vehemently disagreeing with their decision. We're requesting that they come before Caldwell Parish School Board and give us information relative to as to why we can't do what it is we feel is in the best interest of our kids.
I love it.
District having these issues?
No, we're not.
Right, that's
the
what
only
I'm saying.
Every district in Louisiana, in fact, the person who called Christy this week said she was gonna walk over to the SPED department and that they were gonna call you, Rebecca, and I said, good. I said, I'm gonna sit by this phone all day long till somebody calls me. I said, I want somebody to call me.
So is this basically in every parish? Is
It
it
is.
going down in every parish?
It's in every single parish in the state.
And everybody is upset and everybody is fighting, and there are things on my side that they're putting together, position papers. I mean, there was even a mention that, you know, we'll just try to get on the agenda for the next BESI meeting and send all the
Yeah,
parents
see,
down
I ain't
there.
concerned about another parish, I'm concerned about us, and I think that's an option that we have, which is to do a unanimous resolution, strongly disagreeing with their decision. We feel like, you know, the people that we've hired, you know what's in the best interest of our kids, and we are requesting respectfully that, you know, they come before this board to give us a presentation validating why they are doing whatever it is that they're doing, which is having an adverse effect on our kids, on our test scores.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up. I did want to say scores are one thing, but I have a lot of special education teachers who are in high levels of distress right now about how their kids are going to just react to the testing environment, because when you put a kid who's used to one thing, and then even though you've practiced, we know it's going to be very hard for some of these kids to navigate the fully online virtual thing, and they're very concerned that a lot of our kids are it's just going to create a lot of stress for them, that it's just going to completely hurt the way they view testing from here on out. So
Rebecca, taking it away from one is way too much. I mean, but how many kids are we talking about?
I think it's about 30.
So we have 30 kids that require human readers.
That's just an estimate. I could count it and get you guys
I mean, one is too many. I'm just trying to get an idea.
And like I said, none of these kids, or very few of them, it's just a one disability situation. It might be a child with autism who also has a reading disability. It's a child who has ADHD or orthopedic impairment. We didn't even try to send any in that we thought we looked at these so carefully to make sure that we thought these kids qualified. And like I said, that's why it came back that the evals and the IEPs were okay, because Bridget Maxwell, all the teachers, myself, we scoured through these trying to make sure that we had the criteria right. Every single one.
So why do we have you if you're being told what to do? Why do we have us if they're telling us what to do? So again, at some point people got to fight with the resources that they have, and I don't think we should just sit back and accept whatever it is as somebody who don't know jack about what's going on here to try to tell us, especially me, what to do. I just think, whether it's Representative Reiser or whoever else, these people need to be aware that you telling us to do this, and then when you started doing it, then you come back and tell us that you can't do that, you gotta do something else. Again, for a special ed person, a parent, I feel like I should speak for that person. Who's speaking for that person?
And by law, that's the team. The
Yeah.
team makes the decision.
Yeah,
An
so,
IEP is a legal document.
Right, yeah.
So it's very hard to sit into an IEP meeting and explain that to a
Right.
parent, that the state is taking away human
I'm
readers
very
to their
familiar
child.
with
It's very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, these two ladies both have had to sit through meetings with parents that got just, very upset with them, and understandably so, because we, they were trying to explain to them that the state has.
but again, of course, it's who's speaking for me. That's what I wanna know, and it appears nobody, so I'm asking that we do that. And, if we have to get, Representative Rounds or whoever, else, Senator Jackson, we need people to help us to see our point of view, is what I'm saying.
I think every parent of every kid that, gets services from my department would feel very grateful to the board, for this decision, because my biggest fear is also that once they've taken one away, that.
So what if those 30 take their kids out of school?
Other stuff away.
Yeah, what if they take them out of school and just say, we're gonna homeschool? That's 30 times, that's what, 240,000?
These people fought really hard during COVID, because
Right.
I remember how they had to still try to wear the mask, but still take care of the kids. I remember they fought really hard.
So it's been very defeating for the teachers that have worked very hard. And basically what it says is that this one person in the State Department, and I'm sure she's a lovely person, but she has said that, and it's out of state, but basically what the eds put in the evaluations doesn't matter, what the school psychs put in the evaluations doesn't matter. I can look at a kid's report card grade from 2 years ago and say that they're not really disabled. And that kind of destroys the entire process of what my
When we look at a
department.
report card like that, we think, well, the accommodations are working, because the fact that we were able to read this aloud, allowed the kid to make it see.
What's another human?
Well, I think we ought to do like Karen said, get that resolution sent, and along with that, send a copy of that resolution to not just those 31, but to every SPED parent in this parish.
Oh, that's a good
And ask
idea.
them to contact their representative and their senator, and anybody else that they can contact, and to call them, do whatever they need to do to contact them, and ask them to get behind this and support us.
David, you got that, right?
Got it. Now, real quick, do we need to add it to the agenda?
I make a motion that we amend the agenda to offer a unanimous resolution to some people in Baton Rouge.
I'll second
To whom it may concern. huh?
Yeah, I'll do a roll call. All right, Mr. Randy?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Bogartin? Okay, Ms.
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Ms. Maria? Ms. Johnny?
Yes.
Mr. Gary? Okay.
Nick,
Now
if
the
I
motion
call
is
down
second to
there,
adopt it, right?
why are they gonna tell me that they're doing this? Why?
Why are they second?
I mean, why do they change off, ma'am?
Because someone made a 72.
So
So they've
They
changed
make
the
it
criteria or something?
So what they're saying is that there's too much variance in the test scores when there's a human reader. So it's a way to try to control test scores, because basically what they're saying is that it's impossible for somebody to read something out loud to a child and not
Influence the score.
but, so like one of the things, it just got added on, they're gonna do a test study this testing cycle to see if it makes a difference. Well, my department's stance is, well, that should have been done before you took all this away.
Right.
And we were already in the school year before they told us this was gonna happen. In fact, the SPED department from the state never told us this was gonna happen. This all came from assessment. So my thought was, if you knew that you were gonna make a big change, why didn't we have a whole year to prepare? Or why didn't we have 2 years to prepare? Instead, in October, this was just announced on an assessment call. None of us were even in the room on the call, anything like that. So, but that's what it is that they're saying that human readers influence the testing situation.
So back to what Randy was saying a while ago about why can't we just do it anyway? So we're talking about a human reader when they're taking a standardized
Leak
test.
Leak test.
Yes.
So any other things you guys want to do with them, they can't keep it.
Yes.
They're just saying you
This
can't
is
do it on
for
the leak
standardized
test. But it
testing.
is going to impact their scores.
But if they're used to being read when they're taking a regular test, the formality is gonna be the same to this kid. So it just proves that, you know, there's a such thing as, you know, being ignorant and don't know it. And just because you have a college degree don't make you intelligent. This is a classic example. And again, I have a problem with people coming and trying to tell us what to do when we know what works best for us. You know, we got some intelligent robots, you know, trying to tell us what to do. And this is not something I would have to say. I would say it if they were here now. And I would like to have a chance for us to be able to talk to them. Because again, if this were me and I knew it, I would take my kid out. Because now they're being affected, 100% impacted. And we don't want them to take them out.
No.
But I'm saying, what option do they have? Kid gonna come to school and all of a sudden he been taking a test, and he gonna have to look at something, hell, he gonna freeze up.
So if an IEP is a legal document, like it's supposed to be, and then they can come in and do this, does that make every IEP subject to some kind of discretion?
And the
from
IEP
now
is
on?
a federal document,
Right.
and now the state is coming in and saying we trump federal.
Which
That's
is
our
not,
that's our
which is not the
argument.
case. Federal law always trumps state law, always.
Well, if
Which
they-
is why I agree with Randy. I think we should do it anyway.
Well, if they
That's
can
what I
take
think.
this away, what else is there gonna, I mean, what's down the pipe that
Right.
they can stop?
See, this got me sweating. Cause now you're telling me that 30 kids automatically almost are gonna.
Not do well on the test.
So we know that's starting out the gate. Who wants to be at a negative? Nobody wants to start playing football way behind the goalpost. And that's exactly what's happening to this kid. So you got all these parents who, for whatever reason, gonna go and raise hell with the principal and teacher, who rightfully so. But there's nothing that nobody can do. I just think that's.
I mean, in a test score, you know, whatever, but like you said, the stress and the anxiety that these children are going to have to deal with,
That's not fair without
They
that.
already deal with it, now they gotta deal with more.
Right.
So I need a motion second to adopt.
Do I have a motion?
I'm making a motion to adopt.
Have a second?
Make that.
All in favor, say aye. All right, everybody else?
We'll work on that. It's a good idea. Real quick, Ms. Wiley? Yeah.
Real quick. I got an email today from the State Department. We always get emails. We're doing a statewide monitoring here for Caldwell Parish by federal program IDEA and AXA. And we have to get that in, we got about a month to get that information into them and also self-assessment. And we're working on our comprehensive needs assessment and for the district, and then we're going to secure a presenter or consultant for the beginning of school. And we're gonna try, I have emailed out to a Michael Bonner, maybe, and we're gonna try to drew him down a bit, but we're looking at trying to get him. He's
We
real
heard him
good.
in San Antonio, he's really good.
Right, he's real good. And we want somebody that, or the teachers, they, you know, they want somebody that's gonna be innovative, interested and motivated. And so we are gonna try to secure him. I'm gonna try to get him down a little further than what he's asked for.
You gonna work on it?
I'm gonna water him down. Now I'm coming to call with bank to get the money.
Thank you, Ms.
Mrs. Wiley, you know they can't resist you.
We're hoping.
All citizens.
Ms.
That's
Rosa?
it.
Okay, Ms. Rosa.
Just, we finally, I guess the first time since I've taken this position, met our goal as far as participation. So for February, we were at 61% for breakfast and 81% for lunch. So that's way over half our kids now eating, and I, of course, attribute it to my staff because they work very hard, and to the principals, leaders at the schools, you know, really encouraging them to go in and eat. And so, anyway, so our program's doing
You got
good.
your celebratory cigar in the car.
I could use one.
I could use one. We're gearing up for registration, so online registration will start for all 3 and 4-year-olds, March 28th online, and then our in-person screenings and everything will be June 5th and 6th. So that week summer camp starts. They've got little ones, they can bring them to summer camp and look through and grade.
Perfect timing.
I have Maria's
Okay,
update.
yeah.
Miss Guerrero sent me a text, she had to step out, leave, and she apologized, but, we are still seeing lots of growth with our literacy and our data. But she wanted to highlight that we sent 52 young author entries, to regional and 23 of them placed at regional, and we'll move on to the state level. Caldwell have the biggest,
Number of
winners,
winners.
yes.
And they were all invited to a program
ULM.
at ULM Tuesday.
So we're ending on a positive.
Rebecca, I'm done. And I'm gonna be finished with this, but they have to be looking at something else that, I just can't see them coming in just, I have to go home now tonight
I have an idea.
And-
I have an idea.
and realize that it's 30 kids that I know that's automatically impacted. Nobody else included, 30.
When Hammonds and Sills wrote the letter to them, we all thought, oh, this is gonna be done with, because there's no way with the language in this letter, and they came back and they were like, that's not what we're doing, that's not what's happening, so.
I'd like to amend that motion that we made before, that we also add every school board president in the state, send a copy of this, and every superintendent in the state. And try and encourage them to do the same.
And I'm sure they're faced with the
Reach
same.
out.
We could probably get Miss Janet Pope with LSBA to forward it out
Yes,
to
that would be
everybody.
the one to talk to.
Yeah, that's good. Good idea.
All right, item J is the board may enter into executive session to discuss an investigation into allegations of misconduct pursuant to LARS 4217-84.
I make a motion, we go into executive session. I'll get the gist of it. Gary, you can do it. I'm tired, I'm ready to go.
Your motion is second. You did, Johnny.
I think Baron and Johnny.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, just one second.
What is it?
To come
We got
back
it, we
into
got it.
regular
Oh.
session, Miss Johnny made the motion, you seconded. Got it.
Oh, okay. Did I say?
You gotta make the.
No, I think
No,
that's
I
ready.
think-
Okay,
I thought you made the motion.
You made the
Yeah,
motion,
okay,
right?
okay,
I
yeah, I
second.
made the motion, Kaylee. You thinking about doggone right.
I'm thinking about snacks.
Yeah, I think everybody else, 'cause we going
I know.
way
I'm
beyond.
joking, I'm joking.
We ready? Yeah. I'm
Go
ready.
to the superintendent
Yeah,
report.
superintendent
All
report.
right, real fast, you're going to end on a positive note, okay? We're gonna tell our story like we learned, so look over here. So here's some positives. GES, Grayson has their new playground equipment.
That's pretty.
Caldwell Pre-K has their new playground equipment. Kelly Early Childhood Center. Those aluminum benches were put there for tennis. They will also double as the teams at football games. So when we put them down there for the visitor teams and the home teams, that would be.
Nikki, what happened to the bleachers that were there?
Oh, Nikki, while we on this,
I don't know, because I bought a set last year, and then there was another set bought, so there should be 2 sets. Thank you, I will find out.
while we on this, I had somebody message me today from that school
Mhm.
and wanted to know, sent me a picture, I'll send it to you, as to maybe putting rock or something on the sidewalk, and they wanted to know what's the timeline to get all that stuff cleaned up, the dirt and mud or whatever, so they can actually start utilizing. I know weather probably play a role.
But they're using, and there's a sidewalk in between, so they can go there. Right now, the grass is growing, we've been waiting for the rain so we can get everything leveled off and grow the grass.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I had somebody tell me the same
Yeah,
thing.
they were wanting to know,
The problem, I think, is
Things
right
stand
here.
in between, you ain't got a whole lot of room.
They need rock right there?
yeah, I got a picture, I'll send it. I'm
Okay, all right, we'll get on it.
gonna send it to you now.
Just
Nikki.
come-
Okay, good, send it to me, that way I have it. It is, and it's just because of the water, yes, so.
They look great, by the
They
way.
don't, they look great, they
That's what I'm
do.
saying.
And just so you know too,
Um,
we have kids who wanna go and they practice and they play, and so we, because there's not coaches there all the time and they're not supervised, we had them all, we met Monday, and the coaches are having them sign off that they, we encourage kids to put in extra practice, baseball, softball, tennis, track, but know that, outside of scheduled practice times, there's no supervision. And we're getting signs made that say that, and then we're closing it at 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock at night, go home, go home.
That's good.
And we want them to be there playing, but we don't want them to come to hang out.
Yeah.
We're messing up and doing that. So we're trying to make
Nikki,
sure.
they
that we
shouldn't
do
be
that.
there at all without a coach.
With our attorneys, our legal advice, it is a public,
Right.
and there is an expectation that public people can use this. And so
So if
as
there's
long
an
as you
injury out there without supervision,
as long as you've
We're
had them
covered.
sign, and the parents have to sign off, and if their parent does not sign off that they can come and do this, then they cannot come. And then we'll put the signs up
How do we
saying you
monitor
assume
that?
risk, the coaches have them, the coaches are
We're gonna
getting
get
that
the
all
sheriff's
filled.
department to drive through and check on them too.
Well, I think there's cameras out there
I'm
too.
just saying, like
Not
that's
pointing
the-
that way, but there will be.
Okay.
So down at the baseball and
All
softball
the
field,
gaps.
if a kid wants to go down there and hit at 10 or 9 o'clock at night, they're able to do that.
Well,
Not with a pitching machine, but if they wanna do soft toss, they have
What
been
about
able to.
overhand throwing? I mean,
I mean,
that's dangerous.
you did, but
Nobody's supervising them?
they do it, they've been doing it.
I used to do it when I was growing
Yeah,
up.
all my kids did it.
Go hit on mine.
They run the track, they go and they kick and they do, we need to
I know
absolve.
public facilities is hard to like,
It
I
is,
mean,
because
like,
there's an
there's people at
expectation.
tracks all the time, but you start throwing baseballs and, hitting tennis balls and on the court, that's scary.
We're just making sure we cover our behinds in that, so, okay. Just here, this is Kelly Elementary, just some snapshots of things that they've been doing, so I just, there's so much going on, y'all. This is, at the pre-K, they had their 100-day celebration, looks like some Mardi Gras, and blowing bubbles. Columbia Elementary, green eggs and ham during Dr. Seuss week. And then the games that they do, that Martin Home Place, field trip where they went and washed clothes and ironed and, made biscuits. Union Central has,
Look at
reading.
Look at you.
Look at Bear and everything.
They fooled me out there, man.
We've had DARE graduations, and that middle picture is an experiment where they built their own like tracks and had to measure the distance. Grayson, our kindness tree, they had blacklight bingo for families and reading for Read Across America. Junior high, there's some of your JAG students there. The JAG students went to the elementary schools to do activities with them, and that's what those pictures are, their leadership. The bottom left is 6th grade, Coach Barton. That's his class. They were doing some experiments with leverage. And then PE, they're apparently learning to do the splits. And then high school, those are our powerlifting girls. We had beta winners first place for the robotics. First year with Brian Lamb's team, and then she won poetry. And then we had Sebastian McCoy, who has signed with Kansas University to play his trombone.
I almost fell out the seat when I saw that. I remember when, I'm proud of him.
He is super proud. And then another, we had Miss Hutchison and Miss Shaw teamed up together to do a Black History. And y'all, what they did with that is they took the leaders in our community and set up, boards and stuff for them. Remember last week we talked about the Educator Rising class? They went to Grambling yesterday, and they're going to Louisiana Tech, I think in April. Don't let people tell you we don't teach manners in school, because that bottom picture there is Miss Springer's class, and they did etiquette and how to set a table and how to eat with your manners.
Used to, that was in home ec.
It sure is. Yeah. Well, it's called Family and Consumer Science now, facts.
Yeah.
And then the top picture is our welding team who went, and we had several who placed first and third out of the entire place. So anyway, and then y'all, I don't know if you saw, but Colden has made it to state. So he is one of 8 top finalists. Our region had the hardest competition with the most number of schools. I believe it was 16 districts that he competed against. And so he will go to the ceremony in April, and he's doing his competition now. And then I don't know if I updated y'all, but his team did win first place in Washington.
We saw that.
Yeah, they sure did. So anyway, and then here's just our summer camp is coming out, and so we've put that out, and we're this is year 3, final year for funding with ESSER, but hopefully we'll find some ways to make that happen from here on. But we're gearing up for that. And that's it.
May board.
Oh, yes, okay, so, no, I'm so glad you said that. May board meeting needs to be moved because it's Scholars Banquet Night, so are y'all okay with bumping it a week?
Sure.
Yeah, we changed April too, right?
April's is April 20th. So then May's will be, May 18th, if that's okay with y'all.
All right, anyway, that was
Yes, absolutely.
What, May 18th?
May, so April 20th is the April meeting,
Hold on,
May.
It seemed like I got some, maybe not, I need to look.
It's the third Thursday.
No,
we did
okay,
it last
I'm
May.
sorry,
Yes.
it's July 8th. Yeah, something else, yeah.
May 18th.
All right, and so my plan is to present the restructuring plan on April 6th. That's a Thursday night, 6 o'clock at the high school, like we did the proposal piece of that. I've got a lot of people who've been working hard on all the different facets that we'll pull together. That way we can present the plan, ask questions. April 6th, that gives 2 weeks before the April 20th meeting where you'll vote on that. So we'll put that out. I would like to have a transportation and athletic committee meeting before then, so that we can invite bus drivers to come and hear the plan and work out the kinks before we present it to the public. So,
And we can come even if we're not on.
oh, you can come, yeah, everybody can come, it's just the committee members.
Okay.
And that is, do you know if you're on the transportation committee?
You said transportation and athletic?
It's the same, it's the athletic and transportation, so what we can do,
Yeah, I think
Castles
it's you
and
and Buddy.
Barton.
what we can do is we can have the coaches present the athletic plan and then do the transportation after that. So we just got to get y'all together. Generally, we do the committee meetings during the day, but if we can't, I just need to know.
It's tough for
we
me
can do
here
that.
today.
Hey, Gary, I'm gonna ask you, because you're the president, since we're doing this on April the 20th, either it'd be a short agenda, or either we have a subsequent meeting, because I want that meeting to be dealt with nothing but the proposed plan there, because I think at that point in time, and I have requested that, you know, each individual board member is given X amount of minutes of time or whatever to present their logic, reason, or whatever, if they choose to, and then we vote on it, because I think, you know, for the record, you know, no matter where you stand, I think you have to defend where you stand. I think you owe it to those people, because there are pros, there are cons, there are people that's for it, there are people that's against it. And my position has always been to bring to light what other people don't have. And I've told the superintendent, I don't want the emotions or feelings, it's nothing personal. I have my specific reasons and logic, and I don't think others have looked at that, so I plan to present that at that point in time. It's not to knock, because where we end up at, we're gonna move forward. That's a commitment from me. And I think it should be from everybody. Wherever we end up at, wherever the majority is at, we should move. But there are just things I think we need to look at and consider. I think she's done a brilliant plan with executing and doing the things that she needed to do as a superintendent. I give her that credit for that. So it's nothing personal, but we just see, I think we both see the issues. We just choose to get there at a different route. But I support her and her efforts, you know, the people, the public or whatever. But I think that needs to be something that we deal with independently from anything else.
That's fine with me.
Short agenda, April 20th.
Very short. With this being the main thing.
Yes, absolutely. So, we'll do that. So let's set a date for a transportation and athletic committee meeting.
Oh.
You want to do it when?
I want to do it before April 6th, because whenever we present it, I want the board member, the bus drivers and the committee to have already worked out anything that because I'm telling you, I mean, I had a bus driver, and this has been it was their preferences, what they requested, and then we put it together to try to even out the 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, and all that. I would like to get all that worked out before we present it to the public. So,
and they'll have the actual bus routes too?
Yeah, none of the routes will change in the plan that they have. It's just, where do you drop off first, where do you drop off second, where do you drop off third? And we gave the bus drivers an opportunity to decide based on my route what would be best. And then in the afternoons, when they're parked at the schools for evacuation purposes, then that would then be their first pickup, and then their second and third move through.
So the bus drivers don't work on Monday, and I mean.
Monday, 4-3. That's before the 6th.
Okay.
The 3rd, is that okay with you? And I mean, I can get off at 2:30 on Monday, so,
Ooh, that
I mean,
works
if
great.
we could do it, and I don't know about both though, he's not gonna go
yeah.
gear that early.
Okay.
The later in the evening.
Yes,
Now, if it's pouring down rain, it don't matter, but.
So, well, what time do you think you can get here?
Well, I can do whatever I got to do.
Take a personal holiday.
Long as I ain't got a baseball game on that day.
Take a vacation day.
You have softball that day, so you can.
Take a vacation day, personal holiday.
Unless we did it in the morning. I mean,
You got 30 years in the system,
It's
just
hard
don't
to do it
go.
on Monday morning, I'm doing the big
That's a
orders.
baseball game. Gary can't go in the morning, right?
No, not on Monday for sure.
Wednesdays are the only days that they don't. And they can do that like right after work.
Wednesday would be good for me, but that's 4 or 5.
that's the day before.
Be 5 o'clock.
And that's fine.
What about the 29th?
What about the week before?
March the 29th.
Is that a Wednesday?
March the 29th?
Yeah.
Definitely not.
When is the break, Nikki?
Oh.
Bring it in the meeting.
I'll have steak.
Here's cookies.
When is the spring
Free
break?
meal.
You can't do it next week during spring break? That's not a, boy, y'all out there?
No, we were out last week.
Oh, okay.
The people are gonna be out of town for taking them vacation.
So what about the 27th on the Monday then?
I got a ball game at 5.
Got a ball game, okay?
Say, sir, you don't have to commit here.
I'm telling you. Hey, I actually don't have anything on the 28th.
The Tuesday?
Yeah.
So like 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
I wish I'd be here a little bit late, but I'll be here.
How will that affect the bus drivers and stuff?
No, that won't work, cause they ain't gonna be on the
So
route.
they gonna have to do it late in the evening, or they?
Till 6 o'clock.
Do it on the
I
weekend.
mean, 6
Can
o'clock.
we do Monday at 2? I mean, you get off at 2 on Monday?
2:30.
2:30 on Monday?
This Monday?
No,
Monday what?
the April the
Third?
3rd.
I can.
Somebody said they had a ball game.
Not me.
Yeah, but if it's at 2, that gives
If we could do
me plenty of time.
2:30, we could
2:30.
get everybody.
2:30 Monday, April the 3rd, as long as Kaylee sends me a reminder.
Put my reminder in
I'll be
Let me
here
put
as soon
that
as I
on
can.
the
It may not be right
Yeah,
at
you
2:30.
have to text.
Can you send it to me every day between now and then?
Right.
So anybody that calls and
I'm
says, hey
gonna-
Barton, you want a game? I go, no, not on Monday.
Is that a home game?
No.
Say, text my secretary.
Yeah, yeah.
On the, where's it at? Where is
Let's
it
see.
at? I've never even heard of them people.
Transportation.
Are we anywhere close to adjourning?
Yes, sir.
I'm
Right
ready.
around the board.
Somebody
right
make a
around-
motion. I guess.
I make a
need to-
motion to adjourn.
Second.
That's the only time